Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to sit down and just play with some new products that I picked up. I have a lot of stuff that I have purchased recently from Sephora. I did a Sephora haul yesterday, or I filmed it. Not sure if it'll go up before this or after, but I have the new Summer Fridays Shade Drops SPF. I want to try out, see how it plays with makeup. I also have quite a few new products from Haus Labs, so I bought 5 in total. Not sure if I'll use the lip products today because I also have the REM Beauty Chapter 3, all of these new lip products. So I thought we would just kind of use this in today's video. I also have a couple of the new blushes from Mcgrath, as well as this Persona Cosmetics multi-stick in the shade Bubble. I demoed these multi-sticks in a recent video, but I didn't use this shade and I really want to play with it, as well as the Fenty Skin Cherry Lip Oil. And then I have a sample of this Givenchy. This is the Prisme Libre Matte Foundation. So I have a couple samples, thought we'd play with that. Maybe we'll dabble in the Abh Palette a little bit more and kind of mix this with that Haus Labs Pigment. I have a couple other products I want to continue to test out, but those are the main things I'm going to be focusing on today. So as usual, I will link all the products that I used today down below in my description box. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. And if you enjoy these first impression videos, please give this video a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get into it. Before I get into the makeup, I want to say thank you to Built Bar for sponsoring a portion of today's video. I've been working with them for over a year, and a lot of you are Built Bar lovers, as I am now, which I love to hear your feedback. But if you're not familiar, they are incredible tasting protein bars in a ton of different flavors, and they have amazing macros. So they taste like a candy bar, but they have low calorie, high protein, and low sugar. So my favorite recently has been the Banana Cream Pie Puffs. They have their original bars that are a little bit more dense and chewy, covered in chocolate. And then they did release these puffs that were a huge hit. These are very fluffy, almost like a marshmallow inside, covered in chocolate. So this is my go-to flavor as of recently. I also have been really loving the brownie batter. They also do have churro and coconut, and then they have, again, the regular bars in a bunch of different flavors. They did also, just today, bring back the coconut brownie chunk, which is like a favorite of everyone's. Basically, it's the same bar, but it has chunks of brownie on top, but they released it in a puff style. Anything with the chunks on top is the top tier, best of the best. People just go nuts over them, including myself. But to give you an idea on the macros for this Built Puff, this is 140 calories, 17 grams of protein, and 7 grams of sugar. So for me, it's an easy way to get protein in. It actually tastes good. I can put it in the refrigerator if I want it to be like a fresh treat. I know it's really hot outside. Or I can add some whipped cream, I can microwave it, like really whatever I want to do. And then I do also throw these in a bag. So if you're interested in checking out Built Bar, I've been eating them for probably over 2 years now. I feel like I lose track of time. It could be even 3 at this point, but I've actually been purchasing these myself for years. And I'm always excited to see what other flavors they release. So definitely follow them on social media if you're interested to see what they're dropping, when they're dropping it. I do have a code, which is BabsBeauty10, and that will save you 10% off your entire order. So if you're interested in checking out Built Bar, I will link them down below. And like I said, if the coconut brownie chunk puffs are still available, hop on it. I bought a few boxes this morning and I can't wait. So thank you again to Built Bar for sponsoring this portion of the video, and let's go ahead and get into the makeup. I just wiped off my lips and I thought we could just continue to test out the Fenty Beauty lip stains. These are the Poutsicle lip stains. I have the shade here, My Type. No, that's the other one, Zesty Bestie. I always get these confused. This is my favorite because it's like a bright red, and this really does leave a stain. It's a little bit more finicky than, let's say, like my lip stain marker. Not finicky, but it's a little more time consuming because I sort of have to apply this pretty just like all over the place. I've never looked more beautiful. But I have to apply it, and then I kind of let it just sit for a second, but I basically just leave it on for 30 seconds to a minute, and then I wipe it off, and it does leave a nice stain behind. This is my favorite shade just because it's really bright, and I really like how long the stain lasts. Now, you don't have to use it this way. You can use it literally as a lipstick, and it's beautiful that way too. It just goes on like this, of course, and then over time, the shine goes down and it does leave behind a stain. So I think it's pretty. It's just a little bit different than what I'm used to. I know it's going like viral on TikTok, and TikTok cracks me up because it's like they apply it and wipe it off and then they're like, oh, it's stained. Like it's so dramatic. And I'm like, it's a lip stain, right? Like that's the point of it. So it's been about, I don't know, 30 seconds. I'm just gonna wipe off the excess. I feel like if you leave it on a little bit longer, you could probably get like more of an intense stain, but I feel like that's good for me. And then I want to apply this Cherry Treat Conditioning Lip Oil. This is from Fenty Skin. So I picked this up and it has a big daddy doe foot, as we like to say. It smells so good, you guys. This is basically clear, but it smells so freaking good. Lip oils are literally like all the rage right now. Like I feel like every single brand is dropping one, which I'm not complaining, but I kind of wish there was more pigment in them. I've said it like 80 times. The doe foot on this is nice, and this feels nice. I don't know, I would say it's a little bit thicker, sort of similar, let's say, to like the Jaclyn Cosmetics. When I say thick, it's not sticky. There's no stick, but it's coating my lips, which I like. I recently tried the Haus Labs, and that one is very thin, and I feel like it sort of dissipates, which isn't my favorite. This one actually feels like it's really coating my lips. It's gonna give it hydration. The smell is incredible. I just feel like I would have liked some pigment, you know, the Cherry Treat. I get it because of the scent, but I would have liked to see like a red tint to it, but it's okay, we use the stain. So for the eyes, I want to play around with possibly using this pigment paint that I got from Haus Labs and then playing around with the Abh palette with it. So I didn't set my eyelids, but I want to try to use this and kind of blend it out on the eye. Now I have heard that these dry incredibly fast, so I have to work quickly. All right, I've zoomed you in a little bit more and I did work out the creases. So this is the Haus Labs High Power Pigment Paint. I got Blush Matte. I thought this would be the most multi-use shade, and this is what it swatches like. So it's just like a peachy pink shade, but this seems to dry super quickly, so I don't know how this would work on the cheeks. Today I really want to play with that persona, but I thought on the eyes we'll give it a try. I'm going to use the BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A501, and I think I'm going to just put a little bit on my hand here and just apply. So these dry like super fast from what I've seen, so I'm going to apply it quickly, and then I'm just going to use a clean brush to buff out the edges, because once it sets, it like doesn't move, and I feel like then you start getting patching. These seem to be really hard to get off, so they probably are very long lasting. So I'm just sort of blending over the edges as best I can. So there's the pigment paint blended out, 2 layers. I mean, very light layers, but I feel like it doesn't really give me a ton of color, which could be good if you like a wash. I don't know if this is like a standout for me, although there are some really pretty shimmery shades. So those may be a little bit more intense or special. But I really wanted to use this, honestly, like on the cheeks and lips and everything. But I don't know. We'll have to try it another time because I really want to play with that persona blush and bubble. I'm just blending this out. I mean, I'm not having issues blending, but I can definitely tell that like you don't want to even let this sit for 10 seconds. You really want to really get it blended. And I think they do claim that you have 15 seconds of playtime, so that's really not a lot of time to work. All right, so I thought we could play around a little bit with this ABH Nouveau palette. I did a tutorial on this, and then I also wore it in a video, actually my last 2 videos. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm trying to figure out which way I want to go. I think I'm going to go into Floor, see if I can just blend around the edges. I hope that I don't regret this, just because I don't know how this paint is going to react with powders on top, just because of like that grabbing. I'm going very lightly. Actually, the paint is very similar to this Floor shade. Paint is a little bit more pink, but I'm just using this to kind of go around the edges. And because I can't help myself, I do want to try to add a little bit of Wisteria. This is my favorite shade. I just can't get over how pretty this is. I don't know if this is going to mesh with what I have on, but we shall see. So I'm just gonna apply it right in here. I feel like that pigment paint sort of helps to grab on. I wonder if it would be I'm sure they have white. I wonder if that would be something you could use to like really get shades like this to pop. And then I'm gonna go into the shade Metro. I might mix in a little bit of Muse just to get that depth. We'll start out with Metro and see. And I'm just gonna place this on the outer portion. Okay, that's pretty. It's a little bit of grabbing right there. Again, it's that paint, but nothing too insane. And I'm just going to do it on the other side. So strangely, I was filming yesterday. This is my 4th day in a row filming, and I'm so happy to be back to work. I actually got some help with like a pet sitter to come to the house just for like a couple hours yesterday and today, which really helps me out because Roscoe, you know, has somebody that can like play with him, and I don't have to worry about him like eating stuff, eating my carpet. That's his new thing, is lifting up the rug and then wanting to eat like the underpad. So that's just been fun. But she's here right now and I'm just like super thankful. I feel like my mood is even lifted just because I don't feel the stress or like being rushed. So that's been really nice. But I was filming yesterday and I looked at my footage and I thought I had like eyeliner like hanging under my eye or something. I actually somehow like have a broken like blood vessel. I know that's kind of gross, but if you notice that, I've never had that before. It's kind of like, I don't know, yesterday I was sort of irritated, but I didn't notice it, you know, until I was done filming and I was like, what's on my eye? Like I thought maybe my lash was like hanging down or something, but it was a broken blood vessel. So I don't know. I don't really know how that happened, but. Okay, so I actually just pulled out this Huda Beauty Matte and Metal Melted Shadow Duo. I want to try to use the shade Froyo to see if this will do. I think I'm just going to put it on my hand and then just use a really small brush. It's like a light pink shade. I feel like this might actually be pretty dried up, so I'm just going to use it lightly. This is pretty dried up. I don't often use products like this. I wanted something like pink or purpley and shimmery just to like tie these two together. Okay, to be honest, I feel like this is looking super chunky. I'm gonna try, I don't really know what to do. I was thinking like possibly putting a little bit of that on top. Let me try just a little bit of that from the Patrick Ta palette just to like blend. I feel like this is like super chunky, probably because it's dried out, honestly. All right, so I kind of regret putting that on, but it is what it is. I'm gonna go in now with my Hindash liner. I don't know if I wanna do a wing. I mean, let's be real, I always wanna do a wing, but I don't know. I think, well, let's just see where this takes me. Okay, so I applied liner and lashes, and then I also did put on my Freck moisturizer, but I want to try out this new Summer Fridays Shade Drops SPF 30. So this is a mineral milk sunscreen. It says it's lightweight, glides over the skin like a serum. It is also reef friendly, and it says it has a soft, natural finish. This has been getting really good reviews. So this is the consistency. I'm not going to apply as much as I would like if I was like going to be like, you know, out in the sun all day. I'm just going to be editing and stuff, but I really just want to test it under makeup, so I'm going in with more. Feels really nice. It's a very thin formula, but it feels quite hydrating, not in like a greasy way though. And it does give you like a nice glow. Scent wise, I don't smell a scent other than just, you know, sunscreen. Ooh, I hope I like this. This one is very like milky, like moisturizer type feel. There's a little bit of attack, not like the Milk Hydro Grip primer or anything like that. But there's a little bit of attack, but I feel like it just really hydrated my face. So as usual, I'm gonna use my Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. I actually don't know what happened, but the pump broke. So that's kind of frustrating, but I am pretty low on it, so I just kind of have to take the top off. But this is such a good pore smoothing primer. Also controls oil, so I just really put it in my T-zone. So for foundation, I really don't know if I'm gonna have enough product in these samples, even having 2 of them, but I thought we could try the Givenchy. This is the Prisme Libre Skin Caring Matte Foundation. So I tried to get as many samples as possible. This is supposed to be a 24-hour matte wear, luminous matte wear, medium to full coverage, waterproof, low transfer. Pores appear tightened, sign me up. So honestly, I'm probably just gonna mix like the first 4 shades or maybe these 3 in the middle to try to get my right shade, because basically it has like fair, light, medium, and tan. So I feel like if I kind of mix them together, I'll have enough product. Okay, so this is fair, light, and medium. These look a little dark to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use a brush and basically just swirl into all 3. I just really don't know if I'm gonna have enough product here. It's a very, very small amount. All right, I'm definitely smelling the Givenchy fragrance, and somehow that all looks too light. Let's go into the tan shade here. Interesting. Now this looks too dark around the perimeter. I'm definitely gonna have to bring in another foundation, dang. Okay, so I used literally everything in the 4 samples here. I mean, I feel like I can see a little bit of the foundation. I actually like the way that it looks. I feel like there is a little bit of a luminosity to it. It's very thin. I don't know if I'm seeing full or medium to full coverage, but I honestly don't know if it's because there's literally such little product in here. All right, so I'm going into the second, excuse me, sample because I want to see how this looks just on half of my face even. It's actually looking pretty good. Like, I feel like I would like this. I just don't feel like I have enough product. Well, I don't have enough product to do my entire face. I used every bit of the product that I could use from the samples I have, so I really like this though. I feel like it looks nice. It does have a luminosity to it, even though it's matte. I'm not sure how I'm going to match this up with another foundation. I'm trying to figure out what foundation should I like pair this with. But I really like this, like enough that I kind of want to get another sample or maybe buy it. Okay, so on this side, I'm taking my NARS Soft Matte. And I'm gonna try to like sheer it out. All right, so foundation is on, and I still wanna test out this Tarte Power Flex. This is the Tarte C Power Flex Concealer. I have the shade 20N Light Neutral. This is pretty light, but this had pretty rough reviews. And I demoed this in a video, I don't know, a while back. I have no concept of time. And I actually liked it. So figure, let me just keep testing it out to get my thoughts. So people were saying that this really creased. For me, any concealer creases, but I think people were saying like later in the day. I don't typically experience that like even after setting with powder, but I actually did have that issue with the Dominique Cosmetics, which really surprised me. But I didn't have that experience with this. I actually really like it. I feel like it's nice and smooth, nice medium coverage. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set as I normally would with my Huda powder and Pound Cake. Okay, so I'm gonna finish off the lower lash line. I think I'm just gonna go into that shade Metro. Maybe just start with this, and I'm just gonna use this flat brush. This is a Smith 220, really close to the lash line, like super close, almost like stamp. I'm gonna probably keep the lower lash line pretty simple. Honestly, because my eyes are a little irritated from whatever that little broken blood vessel is, and I don't wanna put liner and like smoke anything really. I'm gonna attempt to add a little bit of that wisteria. I don't know if this will show up enough. Just sort of go underneath. And I'm just gonna mix these two just because I need a little bit more depth. I like the Metro like tone, but I need a little bit more depth like right up here. All right, so I'm gonna leave the eyes there for now. I might add like an inner corner highlight or something like that, but I wanna go in and try out the new Haus Labs bronzer. So this is the Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer. I got the shade Light Level 4. This packaging is really, really nice. I haven't tried this, I've only swatched it. I feel like this is gonna be a good shade for me. It doesn't look too warm. It feels very, very like buttery, and I feel like it's gonna be pigmented. So I wanna just start off with a light hand because I really don't know how pigmented this will be. The packaging upgrade on this is really, really nice. But are the products standouts. That is what we need to know. It doesn't seem like overly pigmented. I'm going in a little bit heavier now. And it's not super powdery in the compact. There's a little bit of powder, but it's not a lot. I'm just taking a smaller brush to just get a little more of like almost like a contour or sort of like sculpting. So this is what the bronzer from Haus Labs looks like. I do feel like it's a little bit light for the foundation that I used, just a smidge, but it feels like a buildable formula. It's not overly pigmented, but it's not sheer either. So I feel like it's a nice medium. I really like the packaging. The shade, again, I don't know. I like a little more chiseling out, especially when I'm doing more dramatic makeup. So my first impression on it is I like it. I don't know if I'm like blown away, but I'll have to keep testing it out. Okay, next I want to try the highlighter from Haus Labs. So this is the Bio Radiant Gel Powder Highlighter. I love the packaging on this. It has this like holographic feel, very thin but feels nice. I picked up the shade Sunstone. So I tried to use this yesterday and I felt like there was just a lot of glitter moving and it wasn't really sticking to the skin. So I'm gonna use a different brush today. I tend to like these sort of baked gelée formulas. So I'm just using a Smith, what is this, 103. Let's see if we have better luck. Okay, so I'm having a little bit better luck with this. I still feel like it's a little bit of like glitter fallout, which I really don't love. I don't mind glitter in a highlighter, but I don't really like it to like fall all over my face. But I am having better luck than I did yesterday. So maybe the brush that I was using just wasn't picking up the product. So this is what the highlighter looks like. I like it better today than I did when I used it yesterday. The shade is a little bit of like a, let's say like a peachy gold shade. It's pretty. I feel like it would really benefit from if you had like your brush spritzed with like a setting spray, or if you sprayed your face with setting spray before applying it. It's not overly blinding, but I feel like if you wet it, you probably could get it. Let's just spritz my brush real quick. All right, so I just lightly spritzed my brush. Yeah, I feel like that did just sort of amp it up a little bit. Yeah, so it's not like my favorite formula ever, but I like it. I feel like highlighters, I have my staples that I love, and it's really hard for me to find like a new one that like blows my mind, because really just like a highlighter is a highlighter. But I feel like it's pretty. Okay, so now I want to try this bubble shade from Persona Cosmetics. So this is the blush multi-stick in the color Bubble, which is this beautiful like bubblegum pink. People went crazy for the Dior Backstage blush, the pink one, you know, myself included. And this was a similar color that Persona came out with, but they did a powder form. I actually have it. I don't know if I've used it on my channel, but then they just released these multi-sticks, which are just like cream blushes for the face, lips, whatever you want to use it for. I did demo the other shades in a previous video, but I didn't use this shade because it wasn't going to work with the look that I had on. I feel like this hopefully will look good with the eyes. These were super easy to use, so I'm just going to put a generous amount on my hand, and then I'm just going to use the back of my sponge. I might actually just have to take straight off the top just because this shade is such a like bubblegum color. Oh yeah, it's definitely that bubblegum pink. These are super easy to use. I'm using this over a set face. Let me zoom you in. So this is like a baby pink. Wow. So pretty. It's not really going with my lips right now. We'll have to fix that. And I'm gonna have to probably blend this in so I don't have like a harsh line, because it is so cool toned, almost like a purpley lilac pink. Okay, so this is what the shade Bubble looks like. It definitely is a baby doll pink. I feel like I went a little crazy, so I'm gonna take my Dior powder and my Beauty Blender Puff and just sort of go over right in the, you know, inside here, so there's not like a harsh line. It's definitely a baby doll pink, so we're gonna have to kind of, I don't know what we're gonna use on the lips to, you know, match that. I do also have a couple shades of the Pat McGrath blush duos. So these are the newest blushes. This shade is my favorite so far, Aphrodite Amore, which is a very pretty like light pink. I do have to layer it, but it is sort of similar to this bubblegum shade that I'm wearing. It's not bubblegum, bubble. And then I also picked up the shade Cosmic Coral. This one is a little bit more of like a neutral sort of flush. It's definitely pink coral, but I don't know. I'm still testing this one out. So I might layer a little bit of this Aphrodite Amore on top. All right, so I've dipped in and I'm literally just gonna keep this back here and sort of take it up into my temple. Yeah, I actually like that because that bubble shade from Persona is super light, almost like a pastel, whereas this sort of just grounds it. So I'm literally just like pressing, I'm not really sweeping so that I don't disrupt that cream. But the Persona is super easy to use. Okay, so the last thing we have to do is lips. I got in this PR package last night from REM Beauty. So this is the chapter 3 of REM Beauty. And I thought we could just try, you know, one of each lip product here so I can give you my thoughts. So this is the PR package. So they sent like a few of each different product, but there's like a whole range. I'm not sure when this is coming to Ulta. If it is, I'll link it down below or figure out when it is coming. So I want to dive in and just try out these formulas, watch a couple, just give you my initial first impression. They did also send over this card, which is going to be really helpful in letting me know about the products. So let's start off with this Everything Nice Lip Balm. This is a dewy balm formulated with lip enhancement system, known to promote fuller looking lips. So this just comes in clear. Here's the packaging. So it has that sort of like spaceship vibe. And let's take, oh, that's a little hard. Okay, did I break that? I just pulled the bottom off. Hold on. Oh, you're supposed to twist it. Okay, my bad. So this is what it looks like. It almost looks like it has some like glimmer in there, but it is sheer. It has like a vanilla scent. So I'm just gonna try this on. I mean, it is clear, but okay, so it's not overly shiny. It almost feels like a more emollient like chapstick. I'd have to try it out more. I like the smell of it and the packaging is really nice. I mean, it follows her vibe. You're not gonna get a ton of shine from it. I'd have to see how it feels in terms of like hydrating my lips. This might be something good to put on like before you do your makeup, but we all know that I'm obsessed with my Too Faced. So my first impression on this, I honestly can't really say much other than it feels like a lip balm. Next up, we have, you guessed it, more lip oils. So these look really cute, but I have to say they're probably just gonna be completely clear. Although, what is going on with this applicator? This applicator looks super interesting. So let me read a little bit about this. This is called the Essential Drip Lip Oil. Mega Glossy Lip Oil drenches your lips in nourishing shine. So each of these are sheer, but they have different scents. So we have Mint Condition, Pickin' Petals, which like has a rosy scent, Raspberry Drip, which has raspberry, and then Lavender Kiss, which has a lavender scent. So I think this one is called Raspberry Drip, but look at the actual doe foot on this. Okay, hold on, it's kind of hard to get out. So the doe foot is curved, and then it has a metal ball. I mean, I have to give it to him for innovation. So let me just swatch this. So this is what it swatches like. I mean, it's clear, essentially. I really don't want to swatch all of them and waste them because I'm going to donate them. Let me smell this. Hold on. This is supposed to have like a raspberry scent. Why am I not smelling anything? Raspberry scent. I smell nothing. Okay. Well, let me wipe this off and we'll try it on the lips. Let me see if I can smell the mint. Okay, the mint I smell a little bit, but that's kind of strange because if it's, you know, sort of like promoted as this like, you know, different scents for like a sensory experience, I can't smell it. So let me try this applicator. It's kind of hard to get out. Oh, that is interesting. So the top sort of like coats your lips, but then you feel this like metal ball. I mean, it feels nice and cooling, but it's just a different sensation. So it's really pretty and shiny. I will say this is a thinner formula. So if you are familiar with, let's say, the House Labs, it might be even a little, no, it's similar to the House Labs. I prefer something a little bit more robust, like the Fenty Beauty. I really like the Jaclyn Cosmetics, something thicker that really coats the lips. Like if you notice throughout, you know, doing my makeup for, I don't know, over an hour, the Fenty really, you know, stayed on my lips. So it's not sticky, but it really coated them. This feels like something that is very, very thin and lightweight, and it's going to disappear, honestly, in probably like half an hour. So that's something to note if you like something very, very just like, you know, swipe on and go. I do have to say though that the applicator is something I have never seen before, which, I mean, I'm assuming the whole point of it is to feel nice and cooling on the lips, but I mean, it's just a standard sheer lip oil. So if you have a scent that you like, maybe try that out, but I can't smell anything in the raspberry. Very mild in the mint. Okay, so next up we have At the Borderline Lip Liner Pencil. These are highly pigmented pencils to create fuller looking lips. So it looks like we have 10 shades, but they did send over a few. So I'm trying to figure out what shade I'd like to use today. I think I'm gonna stick with, you guessed it, a nude shade. You know why? I do nude shades a lot. First of all, because I like the way they look, but second of all, I do try to really play up my eyes a lot with like different palettes. And when I have, you know, bright pink cheeks and lilac and, you know, all these colors on my eyes, like a red lip or a maroon lip, I feel like would clash. So let's swatch this one, which is Harmonious. I feel like I'm gonna use this one. Yeah, this is the lightest that they sent me, but I feel like this is a nice nude. The packaging, is this like a roll up? Okay, the packaging is a roll up. It is giving me Kylie Cosmetics, but roll up or sort of like a ColourPop vibe, just because it's like that hard plastic, and I don't think these are sharpenable unless, okay, on the other side there's a sharpener, so you don't want to use like a pencil sharpener because I've been there and I've ruined it before. Okay, so this formula is not as like slick as like a ColourPop, but it's not like super pigmented. Like it almost seems like it's having a difficult time sort of like sticking to my lips, I think because I had that like balm on, which is interesting. It feels quite, I guess, like waxy, like I'm going back and forth, and then it shows up. So I feel like I kind of have to like build it. Okay, so there's the lip liner. It's definitely more cool toned than I thought. It almost has like a taupey vibe. I actually like the color of it. The formula is not as pigmented as I'm used to, but I feel like it, you know, it looks okay. So I want to try out the On Your Collar liquid lipstick. So this is supposed to be hydrating liquid lipstick that lasts for 16 hours, and it looks like there is 9 shades. So they sent me quite deep shades. I think I'm gonna go again with the nude just because I feel like that's gonna be the one that works the best, but I probably will take it off and finish off with the classic lipstick. So this is in the shade Hottie, which is described as a brown nude. So let's swatch this. The packaging is sort of rounded, and then it has like a flat side. You have a little slanted doe foot. Smells like cake again. So it's a very thin formula, but looks very pigmented. It's deeper than my lip liner though, I think. Not sure how this is gonna work, but I just wanna try the formula at least, even if I don't keep it on. Oh, actually, it's pretty, like I said, like there's some sort of like cool undertone, which I like. A very, very thin formula, like super thin. I like that shade on the lips. It's more of like a grungy vibe. So I want to try out the final product. I might just layer it, we'll have to see. But the final product is called the On Your Collar Classic Lipsticks. So this comes in 10 shades. They sent me a few. This is really cool packaging. It's very, very thin, but wait till you see how thin the actual like lipstick is. So it has the little like astronaut component window on the top. And then when you take this off, look how thin this is. I don't think I've ever seen a lipstick with this thin of a component, which is pretty unique. And then it has that magnetized clasp. So I feel like that's a really nice packaging. So it doesn't say the finish on this. It just says a classic lipstick with 1 swipe pigment. Oh, that is very pigmented. Wow. Okay, this shade is called Lingerie. So I'm probably gonna put it on top of this just because I like, oh, this is thick and very pigmented. Wow. I mean, I kind of like that color, although I feel like, I don't know, does it clash with my other makeup? This is like a cool tone. These are interesting. They have like a cool vibe to them. This may be a little strange, but I think I'm gonna take a little bit of this House Labs and just apply it to the center of my lips just because it's pink. And it's like a multi-use, just to sort of like lighten the center. All right, guys, so here's my finished makeup look, trying a bunch of new products. I really tried to use as many products as possible. Not sure how I feel about the end result, but I did find some products I really liked and some that I didn't care for. So let's start off with the Fenty Skin Lip Oil. I think this is a really nice formula, a little bit thicker, really coat your lips, smells incredible. I love the applicator, and this hung on the entire time I did my makeup. So the only thing I can say is I wish there was a little bit of a tint to it, but other than that, this was a solid formula. The Fenty Poutsicle Lip Stain, I also really like this formula. It really does stain your lips. If you want to wear it as just a stain, I would apply it like I did and then sort of wipe it off, which just takes an extra step. I know it's not a big deal, but usually I just take my lip stain marker and kind of slab it on and go. So this is an extra step, but it does last a long time. And if you want to wear it as an actual like lipstick, it looks really bright and juicy, and then it will leave a stain behind. So I think this is really nice. I'd like to see some more colors. Moving on to the House Labs Pigment Paint. This is probably one of my least favorite products I tried today. For me, it just dries really quickly, and it really didn't add anything special to the lids that I couldn't get with a powder shadow. I do want to try it on the cheeks, but again, with it drying so quickly, I am a little bit afraid that it's going to get a little bit patchy, so I'll have to keep trying this out, but this formula didn't really impress me much. On the other hand, a product I can't stop using is the new Abh palette. This is super high quality. I mean, really every single shade that I've used in here has just been absolutely stunning. I have had zero issues blending, you know, using these shades. The fallout is a little bit less than the typical ABH. Pigmented, I love the packaging. For me, this is a 10 out of 10. I know it is more expensive, but I do feel like the quality falls in line with that. Super impressed with the Summer Fridays SPF. I love the milky texture of it. I feel like you get a lot in this component, 1.7 ounces. I like that it's not scented, and it's a little bit different than the current sunscreen I wear, which is the Super Goop Unseen. It's more of like a gel. This is like a milky, almost like a moisturizer, but it doesn't feel thick. It didn't leave a white cast. It almost just kind of nourished my skin, gave me a little bit of a glow without feeling greasy or heavy. So this may be a winner. I'm excited to keep using it. From what I could tell, I also really like the Givenchy matte foundation, so much so that I feel like my complexion looks really nice. And when I'm looking on each side, I have the NARS on this side. I feel like I look a little more textured, and I have the Givenchy on this side. So I may pick up the full-size bottle. This may be a formula that works beautifully for me. It was really hard to tell, you know, the coverage and everything with the samples I was working with, but I did definitely see that like luminosity, but it was still matte. So I actually may pick up a full size just because I feel like I really like this side of my face and how my complexion is looking. I'm also still enjoying the Tarte C Power Flex Concealer. I really like it, so much so that I actually am considering picking up a full size of this too. I feel like it's a medium coverage, very smoothing, doesn't enhance my texture, blends out beautifully. I have no qualms about that. Now let's talk about House Labs. House Labs. Why did I say it that weird? House Labs. So the bronzer for me is just so-so. I'll have to keep using it. I didn't feel like it was hard to use, but there was nothing that really like stood out to me. I like the packaging, but the shade and formula for me just feels like a nice standard bronzer. Of course, I'm gonna have to continue to use it. For me, this is a good product, but it's not wowing me. So I wanna keep trying it out. And the highlighter, again, good product, really not wowing me though. the formula can just get a little bit more like glittery and almost like fallout. So it almost doesn't want to adhere to the skin. Maybe it's a formula that really needs to have a damp brush or your face sprayed with setting spray, which again, I don't have to do that with my favorites. So for me, this is just, again, a good product, but not wowing me. I feel like the Haus Labs products that I've tried so far, I really like the packaging and the product quality is good, but there's nothing that's really like knocking my socks off. On the other hand, what is knocking my socks off is the Persona Multi-Sticks. The formula is just super easy to use, not overly pigmented, but not sheer. You can use them over powder, not super dewy, but not dry. I feel like these are just super, super user-friendly. Anyone could use these. You saw how easily I applied this over powder. Now this shade leans a little bit like lilac. I mean, it is like a bubblegum pink, so it can look a little bit ashy. I feel like if you're super tan, like tan, deep, dark, I don't know how this would work on you because I felt like I almost had like an ashy cast, but when I added on the Pat McGrath, I felt like it sort of grounded it. So I'll keep trying this shade out. I also was trying so many different products, so it could just be that my eye makeup or lip makeup was sort of like throwing me off a little bit. Formula is an A+. This color is really beautiful. I mean, it really is that like baby doll pastel cheek vibe, and I liked it a lot more once I applied this blush from Pat McGrath. For me, strangely enough, Aphrodite Amore is my favorite. I do have to build it up about 3 or 4 layers, but there's something about this shade right here that just gives me the doll look that I love. I'm not like loving Cosmic Coral so far, but I have to keep trying it out. But for me, I almost didn't get the Aphrodite Amore because I thought it was gonna be just like really light. It is the lightest of the bunch, but I can build it up and get that beautiful look. So this I've been loving. And lastly, let's go over my thoughts on the lip products from REM Beauty. So for me, the packaging is really nice. The actual lip balm I tried first, I feel like it's just a standard lip balm. There was really nothing that stood out to me. Of course, I'll have to try it and see if my lips feel like amazing, incredible, phenomenal, gorgeous, you know, but just my first impression, it feels like an emollient chapstick. So that, I don't think that, you know, it's going to become a favorite. Also, the lip oils, I have to give it to them for the innovation on the component because I really have never seen anything like that. It's a little hard to get out of the actual tube, but it is just an interesting applicator. I do not smell anything. Like literally I smell nothing on this, and it's supposed to have a raspberry scent, and they're all sheer. Like literally they're clear. There's like a little bit of a tint in the component, but it's clear. So for me, you're really only buying it for the scent. So it's a little disappointing if, you know, you got this for the raspberry scent and you smell nothing. So this, again, a thin formula. I feel like it's going to dissipate soon. Just really not a standout lip formula or lip oil formula in my opinion. In terms of the lip liner, I feel like it's a little hard to build up. I had to work a little bit to get that pigment. I like this color though because it is a little bit more of that like grungy gray color. So I like the color. It is one of those that you have to sharpen from the bottom here and you do roll it up. It's not really a super creamy formula, but it's not dry. It's sort of right in the middle. So I like the shade and I'll continue to use it, but I don't know if the formula is like going to become a favorite. I just feel like it's an okay lip formula or lip liner formula. And then finally, the standouts for me in the REM Beauty have to be the 2 lipsticks. In terms of the matte liquid lipstick, I like the formula. It's very thin and I like that it's very pigmented. It smells really nice. It has like that cake smell. It looks deeper in the component, but on the lips, it really had that like grungy vibe. Very, very thin formula. I didn't notice, you know, my lips sticking together or anything like that. I feel like it's comfortable. I mean, it does feel like I have a lot of lip product on because let's be real, I layered this on, but this I actually really like. I would use this again. And then the lipstick component, super interesting, just so thin, like super, super pencil thin, but this is super pigmented. It smells good as well. So this is like one swipe. Look how pigmented and creamy that is. Yeah, these smell good. It's like a vanilla scent, but this is incredibly creamy and pigmented. It has that like gragey vibe as well. Feels a little bit heavy. I mean, this is definitely a thicker formula, but I like it. I think the packaging is really nice, and I feel like it's going to sort of hang on for a while without like cracking and drying your lips out. So interested to keep trying these 2 formulas. All right, guys, so there's everything for this trying new makeup. I feel like we found some gems and some products that were just so-so, but let me know your thoughts down below about how the product's applied. Have you tried these products? What do you think about them? Or do you want to try any of these products? So I will link everything that I used today down below in my description box. Also, don't forget to check out Built Bar. I highly recommend, especially if you're just trying to get more protein in with something that actually tastes good. So I will leave the link at the top of my description box as well as my code. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. And if you enjoy first impressions, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.